What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name's Ryan, this is Ride Clutch, and today's video is all about this bike, the 2020 Yamaha R1M. Not only that, but we're giving this bike away and $15,000 in cash. If you're new here, I want to say make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell for the post notifications so you don't miss any of our uploads, drop a fat like on the video, and give us some feedback down in the comments. That being said, today's video, like I said, is all about this bike. I'm super excited to jump into it, so let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, I want to go over why we even have this bike in the first place. This is a giveaway bike, guys. This bike and $15,000 cash is going to be going to somebody just like you watching this video, but you can't win if you don't get entered. So we've made it super simple. There's a link down in the comment section. We've pinned it. You're going to click that link. It's going to take you to the website where every $1 you spend on our apparel or accessories or anything is going to get you 5 entries to win the bike and the cash. This is our 16th giveaway, so that means we've done this 15 times already. We've given away incredible bikes and cash totaling over $200,000 over the last couple years. So if you want to get entered to win, like I said, super simple, hit the link, go shop our website. Every $1 you spend gets you 5 entries to win. The deadline is this Sunday, so make sure you guys go over there before you miss your chance. So the biggest question that I see revolving around the internet time and time again is, what is the R1M and why was it made? There's already an R1 that we know and love. Well, okay, take that R1 that you know and love, put it on steroids, that is the R1M. And Yamaha even said this themselves, that this essentially is the closest iteration they can get to the M1 track bike that they use for their racing team. This bike is fully street legal, which is kind of a misconception I think some people get. You can ride this bike on the road, but it's also track ready when you pick it up from the dealership. It comes with a ton of performance upgrades over the regular R1. You get the cool R1M badges right here, so everybody knows you're just a little bit cooler, and you get all that other stuff too, like I said. So I'm gonna bring the camera a little bit closer so I can show you guys all that, because there are no details that you're gonna wanna miss on this bike. So first things first, I want to point out, look how much carbon fiber comes on this bike. The front cowl, this entire side fairing, all the way down to the belly pan is carbon fiber. The tail section, complete carbon fiber, and we've even added some touches of our own. So the engine cover right here. Clutch cover, dummy. The exhaust cover right here. The rear tire hugger, and the front piece right there is also carbon. Not only that makes the bike super light, but they've also used a ton of magnesium and aluminum, which is just a super lightweight material versus the materials that they use to build the regular R1. So if we turn the key just like that, you're gonna see that all of the lighting on this bike is LED. So the 2 turn signals on either side, the daytime running lights up there are LED. And if we go around to the tail section, you will see that the tail light is also LED. Now I wanna point this out real quick that we did, let's turn on the hazards. We did put a fender eliminator, so it's gonna have the 2 turn signals right there instead of the giant monstrosity that comes from the factory. So just a cool little upgrade that we put on there. And speaking of upgrades, let's go ahead and talk about this exhaust system. This is not something to be glossed over. We have a full Akrapovic exhaust system, and you can tell because look at this. The headers are completely blue. So with the titanium exhaust, they're gonna change color over time to like a blue purplish tinge. Or if you don't wanna wait and you're impatient like we are, you can just take a blowtorch to the exhaust and initiate that color change yourself. It doesn't hurt the exhaust at all, but it makes the color a little bit more synchronized across the entire thing, and you're not gonna have like some patchy colored areas like you normally would. But it makes for some super sick colors, and it kind of just draws your attention to the exhaust a little more, a bit more poppy. And with this bike specifically, it almost kind of matches with the blue wheels and all the blue accents on the bike. It kind of just pulls your attention to the exhaust even more. And right there next to the exhaust, you guys can see this is an Olin suspension in the rear and in the front too. So that's right, you guys get Olin suspension in the front and rear. That's a pretty expensive aftermarket upgrade that you'd normally have to get. It comes stock on the R1M, which is super cool. Super glad that Yamaha decided to integrate that with this bike. And since the key's already on, let's go ahead and jump into this screen. So you have a full LCD screen with this bike, and it looks super cool, super clean, black background, white letters, all that. We're in neutral right now. You can see the green N. So on the left control right here, you're gonna have an up, down arrow and a menu button. If you click the menu button, it's gonna take you through the different settings along the bottom that you can adjust. So if we're in B mode right now, you just click the arrow down, it'll take you to C, D, and then we can go all the way up into A mode. I have not ridden this bike in A mode because that is scary. So check this out. In C mode, right there, that light just went away. So if we go back up into B mode, So LIF, that means lift control. So what lift control does basically is if you're doing like hard launches or anything like that and you don't want to worry about the front wheel coming up and looping your bike, lift control basically prevents the front wheel from going up higher past a certain point. So like I said, if you're doing those hard launches, which this bike is really, really good at, the lift control is basically going to prevent you from looping the bike. It's just going to cut the power if the wheel is going up too high, and it's basically just like distributing the power more efficiently so you can go faster. So back to the screen here, in the modes, like I said, you have modes A through D that you can play with. You click over one, you're just going to press the menu button on the left handlebar over here. You're going to have 4 different power settings that you can mess with. One more, you're going to go to your traction control settings. Now this is interesting. You actually have 9 different traction control settings on this bike. I know that's a lot, might be a little bit overboard, but it just goes to show how much customization you really have with this bike. SCS, that's going to be your slide control system. So that's going to affect how much of the rear tire will slip when you're in the turn. And one more, you're going to go to your engine brake management. So that adjusts basically how much engine braking the bike has when you let off the throttle. And then you're also going to have your suspension settings right there. So with this meter right here, the 2 meters that are on the side right here, if I pull in the front brake, you guys are going to see the bar start to fill up. And that basically just shows how much you are pulling in the brake, what percentage you're at, so you can play with that. And pretty good information for the track. And then the second bar on the right side is going to be basically how much force you're applying to either the front of the bike or the back of the bike. So if I were riding right now and I were to pull in the front brake like that, you would also see the top of the meter to the right of it start to fill up with blue. If I'm in a pull, so I'm yanking the throttle back, you're going to see the bottom of the meter right there start to fill up. And that's just a good, useful tool that you can see just to show how much you are either pulling or braking. You don't obviously want to go overboard. This bike does have ABS, so you don't have to worry about locking up your brakes, and I actually want to go over that in just a second. But it's going to basically just show you how much force you're applying to the bike. So like I just said, the bike does have ABS, and with that, it's also going to be able to track what your lean angle is in a turn, and if you're applying too much brakes, the ABS is going to kick in based on your lean angle. So like, that's crazy to me that the bike can even track that, but it's also super useful because if you're applying too much brake in a turn, then obviously you're going to low side the bike or potentially high side it, and that's even worse in my opinion. But the ABS system is able to basically tell what lean angle the bike is at, and if you're applying too much brake, the ABS will kick in and it's going to cut your braking power a little bit so you're not overdoing it and you don't wreck your bike. And last couple things real quick, I had to turn the bike around so I can show you this, but the last couple mods that we did to this bike, nothing crazy, but we did install these grips on either side. So really, really grippy right there. It has this rubber piece, and then it has these really cool aluminum blue accents right there to match the bike. Check out right here, we have a gold sprocket in the back, gold chain adjusters, and the chain is gold. So it kind of matches the Olin suspension in the rear and just gives it that nice little pop in the back end with the blue wheels and everything like that. And then this right here, so I have to give a shout out to Louis Moto. Guys, they sent us this seat cover. This is not the factory seat cover that comes on the R1M. If you guys know Yamahas like we do, then you know how uncomfortable the factory seats are. They feel like bricks. I don't know why they don't fix that, but luckily Louis Moto has the answer. So they sent us this seat cover. It has a ton of extra cushion in there. Feels really comfortable. And check this out, they even added these blue leather accent pieces to perfectly match the accents that are on this bike already. So we're super, super glad that they sent us this, and we couldn't honestly be happier with it. Like I said, super comfortable, and it just makes your bike look that much cooler. So that's gonna go ahead and wrap up today's video for the most part. If there's anything you think that I missed about this bike or anything that you think the people should know about it, then I want you to drop it in the comments, drop a like on this video. And like I said, if you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and smash the subscribe button. We're super, super excited to be sharing some new content with you guys here soon. And with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you go get entered to win this bike and $15,000 cash. Like I said, the deadline is December 6th. That is this Sunday. So if you haven't entered already, go get entered and you could be our next lucky winner.